Good afternoon, Belize. It's midday and you're tuned into the news at noon, where we bring you the latest updates from around the country. I'm Isana Cayetano, and here's what's making headlines today. Spending spree or fiscal fix, the 2025 national budget is debated. On SOEs, government moves to change constitution amid legal confusion. Tension grips Belize City as Elmer Nah trial begins. And Ladyville mourns after fatal motorcycle crash claims young woman's life. These stories are coming up in just 1 minute.
I'm Brittany, one of the newest faces around here. My stories are heartfelt and bring a fresh perspective. On the job, there is no challenge too great. Flooded highways, raging fires, or asking tough questions. My determination and willingness to connect with people help to deliver stories that put you, our viewers, at the forefront of issues. My motto: accurate, timely, and relevant. I am News 5.
Welcome back. All eyes are in the National Assembly today as the House of Representatives dives into a major debate over the proposed $1.78 billion national budget for the 2025-2026 fiscal year. Inside the chamber, parliamentarians are rolling up their sleeves for 3 days of intense discussions, dissecting every dollar and cent. Just 2 weeks ago, Prime Minister John Briceño unveiled the budget, highlighting that 56% of government spending is earmarked for salaries and pensions. He also projected that Belize would bring in about $7.4 billion in revenue and grants. But not everyone is on board. Opposition leader Tracy Tager-Panton is expected to respond during the debate. She's already criticized the Briceño administration for what she calls an overemphasis on infrastructure, arguing that more should be invested in housing and education, areas she says directly impact the lives of Belizeans. With the country watching closely, this budget debate could shape the direction of the national priorities for the year ahead. We'll be following the developments closely and bring you updates as they unfold. A major constitutional shakeup could be on the horizon as the Briceño administration moves to amend the Belize Constitution. This comes in response to two conflicting High Court rulings on the legality of states of emergency, rulings that have left both lawmakers and law enforcement seeking clarity. This morning, Prime Minister John Briceño introduced the proposed amendments at the start of the House sitting. He explained that while the government is still pursuing clarity from the High Court, they have also secured a date in March 2026 to present their case before the Court of Appeal. Among the proposed changes, the creation of a specialized gun and gang court, a move the government says is aimed at tackling violent crime more directly and efficiently. It's a bold step that could reshape how Belize handles emergency powers and criminal justice.
The judge concluded that, and I quote, "The underlying facts of gang violence and a spate of murders in the south side of Belize City as existed would justify such a state of emergency declaration." On the strength of this decision, Madam Speaker, the government would have been confident that the use of the SOE as a crime-fighting measure was appropriate, lawful, and constitutional. In contrast, Madam Speaker, another judge, in examining and considering the SOE declared in the same July 2020 and all acts of the state following that SOE, ruled that the prevailing circumstances at the time did not justify the declaration of the SOE. The judge thus went on to hold that all acts done under the SOE therefore were unlawful. Madam Speaker, the pronouncements of the respective judges are conflicting. This creates difficulties for the government, for any government. Firstly, the state has a responsibility to uphold the rule of law, which includes the state abiding by the court orders or pronouncement. The state clearly cannot abide by both decisions. The purpose of the law is to create certainty. Uncertainty in the law is an anathema to law and order. The uncertainty in the law, therefore, cannot persist uncorrected and therefore must be addressed.
We'll have more from the Prime Minister's address and reactions from both sides of the aisle in our extended coverage tonight. Meanwhile, tensions were high in the Old Capital this morning as the long-awaited trial of former Police Corporal Elmer Nah got underway at the High Court in Belize City. The courthouse was under tight security as Nah, accused in a chilling New Year's Eve triple homicide of John, David and Vivian Ramnares, made his appearance. The case, which has gripped the nation since 2022, took another dramatic turn as his defense attorney, Dr. Lyndon Jones, revealed he's been receiving death threats and requested a closed court for today's further hearings. But Justice Nigel Pilgrim stood firm, citing the importance of transparency in such a high-profile case. With allegations of delayed evidence disclosures and rising public interest, this trial is shaping up to be one of the most closely watched in recent memory. We'll bring you the latest updates in our evening newscast. A heartbreaking tragedy unfolded in Ladyville on Sunday night as a woman lost her life in a devastating motorcycle crash. The accident happened around 9 p.m. near the junction of Mirage Road and Philip Golson Highway. According to reports, Ladyville resident Celia Carballo and her boyfriend were riding a motorcycle when they collided with another cyclist. The impact threw Celia from the bike and onto the road. Emergency responders rushed to the scene, but sadly, Celia did not survive her injuries. We spoke with Dorita Whitsil, a close friend of Celia's, who shared the moment she received the devastating news. Her voice filled with emotion. She described Celia as a kind and vibrant soul whose loss has left a deep void in the community.
On this moment, I can't even digest it yet because I cannot believe I just found out like 15 minutes ago that is she. Earlier this morning, I just knew that she was in an accident. I didn't know that she passed away until a while ago. And it's hard for me, just to find out something like that. And I just spoke to her on Saturday, and she was fine and good.
And can you tell me a bit about, who she was as like a person? I know that, she probably might have been in a situation where she was struggling, and so how did she navigate through life?
She is a happy person. Regardless of what she is going through, she is very happy. Regardless of her daughter are not here, she is happy with her daughter that is here, this smaller one with her.
What was her last interaction with her like?
It was good, normal. That's why it's hard to believe. Saturday she was here laughing, and I supposed to see her early this morning, but it didn't happen. And that's why that's the concern when we never see her early this morning.
Police are continuing their investigation into the crash. Meanwhile, friends and family are mourning the sudden loss of a young woman whose life was cut tragically short. That's a wrap for the news at noon, but don't worry, there's plenty more coming your way at 6 p.m. We'll dive deeper into these stories and more. In the meantime, visit channel5belize.com and follow us on Facebook for real-time updates. And don't miss Open Your Eyes tomorrow morning for fresh takes on today's headlines. Thanks for tuning in, Belize. Stay informed, stay inspired, and have a fantastic afternoon.